Brook Community Development District meeting. Again, this is Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024. The time now is 10:08 a.m. and all board members that were originally in attendance are still in attendance. Madam Chairwoman.
John, you're on.
Okay, I'm going to start with the staff update. We are currently fully staffed on both the common grounds and the golf course departments. That's what I have to say about that. It's pretty good.
How much is fully staffed?
Fully staffed, so we have a crew of 5. So let me break down the common grounds real quick because it's easy. We have a group of 5. And it's basically 3. So one of them's an irrigation tech, the other 3 are laborers, and then the other is Rosa, who she cleans the bathrooms on the at the pro shop and the golf course. And then she also does like some hand picking, does cul-de-sacs from time to time. With her wage being split between Kyle and I because of her work at the pro shop. And then the golf course is about 15 laborers, and then myself, Todd, Leslie, and Franco. So like 19 people total, 20 people. So that's fully staffed. That's with the 3 people that we were granted permission from you guys, or you guys told me to get last year, the additional. So we're fully staffed there. I do got a lot of little things along with some big things, so I'll just try to get through it. So obviously we had a hurricane not too long ago, yeah.
Oh, okay.
We fared fairly well. We had very minimal, a lot of our newer landscaping out back got pushed over, especially some of the stuff that has been sitting in water for a long time. It's just, there's no root structure. We put them back up. We'll see how they do. We might have to replace them. Out along Corkscrew, same thing, a lot of that newer vegetation got knocked over. We had to put it back up because it's not in the contract, you know, acts of God, in any landscape contract you'll ever read. But we put all that back up, it's looking pretty good. Shortly, about a week before the hurricane, we had installed our flowers. And as you can tell, they got a lot, especially the ones out front, they got wind whipped pretty bad.
Yeah.
Good thing we didn't do Lancaster.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, I'm going to ask you on the flowers, let's just go ahead and get this off the table. Do we want to go ahead and just replace them again at about, it's going to cost about $3,000, $3,500. We don't have enough to replace what's out there bad. We only have about a few hundred in the shop. Not much to do any kind of significant. And also, if we do we want to, what am I having right in front of me? Do we want to replace the jasmine that Chris, we were talking about at the 4-way stop?
Yeah.
Because remember, to fill, we're not going to use that jasmine, that dwarf jasmine in the pro shop, and we still have some in the community. 4-way stop, some of the cul-de-sacs. So if we're going to get rid of it, do we want to make those, pull that jasmine out and just make it a bigger flower bed? Because it's directly behind the flowers. And we could add more pop if we decide we're moving forward.
I find myself walking by there, and I was telling John, I was like, sometimes look, I was like, is that a plant? Is that a weed? What is that stuff?
Yeah.
What's its purpose? Does it color? Phil, I know you hate jasmine, so that's fine.
Oh, it's just hard to grow.
What does it do?
It's a ground cover. It's just a ground cover.
It's the worst
It's
ground
just
cover
green,
ever.
right? It doesn't
It has no
it
flowers.
doesn't have any color. It's just there.
Yeah.
So I don't know a damn thing about this stuff, but I just keep walking. One day I walk by and think, what is that? Is it a weed? I don't know. I feel like I need to call John and say, this place needs to be weeded. Then I realize it's actually stuff we planted. I don't know.
So when is the next time we were supposed to do flowers? Not till this.
January. Because we do flowers 3 times a year now on the common grounds. October, January, and May.
What if you do a fertilizer hard?
If you look at them, like structurally wise, they're just so
they're.
leggy and
you can
straight.
tell.
Yeah, they need to be replaced. Those
They
are.
look bad.
Yeah. And another thing too, I noticed, even when we got these, so we got 3 different colors. We got the orange, the purple, and very minimal white just to throw it some dabble in there. But the purples were outgrowing the orange and the whites 3 to 1 before the hurricane. And you get that a lot with, you got these flowers, these hybrid flowers, and different colors. Some will have sometimes different traits to them, it's like, but it was just, like I said, about 3-to-1 growth rate, that's upward.
How long do they last? I guess.
Those sun patients will last a while. Once they get established in pool, they'll last,
I think you take your January and just renew them now, and just let it go longer.
Okay. That's
Even if we have to move it up a month in
In May.
May.
Well, if we
because-
push it more towards Thanksgiving, it'll look good for the holidays,
Yeah.
and you're really only 6 weeks from when, well, I don't know when you were going to do it in January. I guess you weren't going to do it January 1st necessarily.
Yeah, typically.
They looked very good for the 7 days that they were in there.
Yes.
Crew's not too happy about that.
Yeah, I can imagine.
No, I have to agree with Chris. Let's just do it in November, get it done.
Try to get it done before Thanksgiving, so it looks good for the holidays.
Yeah,
They'll last through season,
Yep.
right?
yeah. And then if we have to bump up May to April, so be it.
Or we just survive a little bit there in April,
Yeah.
May with some.
Also, I want to thank Kyle and his crew for their help during the hurricane cleanup. They did an amazing job. When we first got back and reconvened, not all of my staff, maybe not even half of them was back yet. A lot of people left. And his crew came down and helped out, did a great job. Kyle himself, everybody's out there picking up everything. Tyler, a lot of guys came down, and I was very appreciative of that. So thank you to their staff, thank you for our behalf. Because it really helped out. There was a lot of debris. Moving on with that, we're also, right now this week, or last week, we did pine straw install. We're currently doing mulch install right now. And tree trimming will take next week. We're going to be doing the palms in the community and lifting up the hardwoods. I'm going to do palms this year. I think they.
Okay.
I know last year Williams was kind of recommended, but I think it's.
Some of them
I
look-
think it's due this.
Yeah, they
really
look
do.
scrappy.
Just on both the course or just common ground?
Just common ground.
Just common
We did,
ground,
yeah, we don't do the course. We talked, well, we didn't talk, but it was maybe mentioned, or supplementing some pay for the employees under all 3 departments for the hurricane. Just something for the board to discuss. Doesn't have to be, this month, just something to discuss, maybe bring up. And did we say we're gonna get rid of Jasmine at the 4-way and make those flowers? Do we want to
Yes.
do that?
Okay. How many, we didn't have a full staff here, but we have a list of the employees that were here for the storm.
Yes, and we only have one employee, I only had one employee that was displaced. His home got flooded, he lives right on the river up there in North Fort Myers. He's found a new place, he just had a newborn, his name's Brad, real good employee of mine, of ours, but we only have, luckily we've only had one.
Okay.
So we've fared very well.
Well, as far as the board, do you think that we should do something for them?
Is there any restrictions that we would have as a governmental agency on that?
And your thoughts are to just make an additional bonus or incentive?
Yeah.
Compensation? No, for just,
For those that they were here and working and...
yes, the board can do that. It can basically sort of give them some, not treat as a bonus, but just appreciation, pay or compensation for the time they spent.
Okay, because I want to make sure this is clear what this is for, not
One time.
just the loss of time for the employees that were out during.
Oh,
You know
that's
I
what
mean?
you're
Because
talking
they
about.
were
We're not
Okay.
talking about paying them for when they were here
Not
cleaning
paying
up.
for when they were
We're
here.
talking about a supplemental.
For the one, right.
Right, so I told Chris, like, that young man that just had the baby, you couldn't come in, so I told you not to come in. Can I pay him for the day?
For salary, you can basically say, as opposed to him using a personal time off or salary, just say, be compensated leave for that day or
Right.
yeah, however you want to characterize it, Chuck. I think,
That I agree with, because he couldn't come in.
correct, I think it's appropriate, yes.
Yeah, and I'm not just asking, this was, here, I don't want to get confused on this. This was just for the time that was lost for all employees because they were sitting out during the hurricane.
2 days or whatever, right?
2 days. Right.
Right, because we told them not to come in. And I know in my prior career with, major snowstorms or something and we closed the bank, they still got paid for those days because they
Yeah, our
couldn't.
employees do, we're closed during
Yes.
Not all employees have paid PTO.
Right.
Right, not all have vacation because.
So yes, in that case, they should get paid for the days that we
So
were
should we give
closed.
like a 2-day, I think about what it was, 2 days, Wednesday and
2 days.
Thursday, I mean, yeah.
I'm sorry?
Was it,
Did they leave town?
Some did.
I don't think it matters.
Well, we were closed.
If you live on the river and you're in an evacuation zone, I would expect you to leave town,
Yeah.
Yeah, now, it's not for, that they chose to leave, it's, we closed the golf course
We
for said
closed.
2 days. We said, hey, we're closed on these 2 days.
Yeah, the board can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Okay, so
a
I will
2-day.
make a motion that the days that we were closed, that the employees
who are
should,
scheduled to work.
who were scheduled to work,
Yeah.
get paid for those days as normal days of work.
A second.
Can we get a price on that?
yeah, I was about to say, what number are we looking at here?
Can you get us a price? so we
I can get you
go
that
on the
number,
next
yeah.
month?
Okay.
I'm not trying to be,
No, I know, Phil, but that's, that's kind
It's gonna be
of,
about $6,000.
but that's, and I will say that that's,
$6,000 a day or $6,000 total?
No total.
Total?
okay, and I will say that that's, at least in where I was, it was standard in the industry. If we closed, you still got paid because you didn't have the opportunity to come in. That's all I'm saying is I think it's standard. I mean,
What should when I get this cost, who should I email it to?
email it to Chuck and Chuck will email it out to us. I think it's standard,
And we do the same thing for the pro shop guys that were scheduled to work as well.
Yeah, if you could get that too. I just,
Oh, so the 6 was just for maintenance?
No, I think it's gonna be pretty close.
Yeah.
Okay, total, I think.
so.
so it's already been discussed.
This is the first time it's been brought up right now.
Okay.
And I'm just saying that I think it's
Yeah,
standard.
just because I just did something in my head. I hadn't talked to him about it.
So, okay, if you can get those
Yeah,
totals.
because if I'm doing it in my head right now, yeah, it might be a little bit more than that, but between his department, 3 departments, like, I don't know, I have no idea what his. Not much.
Not much.
I mean, and we can wait, we can still grant it and then just give it
Give it later.
down the line, once we get these numbers and, vote on it the next meeting or whatever.
Okay, but I just want to make sure that when we do that, if they work 40 hours this week and we're giving them an extra 16 hours, if they don't get, it doesn't go in as overtime.
No.
Okay, I just want to make sure that it
It would just
doesn't.
be a supplement to their pay.
Okay,
you know.
that's fine, because I don't want it to be as overtime.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, if you both could get those totals to Chuck and he'll get them out to us and we'll just discuss it at the next meeting.
Potentially parlay it as a holiday bonus as well? I mean, we would normally give something.
Well, that was
Put it all
my next
together.
thing. The next one is we always gave everybody $100 after
Christmas.
tax for Christmas bonuses. So I just want to make sure that we still have that. That was budgeted for, and we still
Yeah.
need to do that. And I wouldn't, don't do this in lieu of.
No, I'm just
Okay.
saying bundle it all,
Right.
Yes,
throw it all together.
okay.
Yeah, I think that's a smart play to kick the can down the road
Yeah, okay,
for
too.
a couple of weeks, figure out exactly what we're gonna do. We have a budget for some of it.
Right.
But yeah, I think we should give them something.
Sure. Okay. There's some bigger items here, I guess, so I'm gonna try to get the small stuff out of the way. This new agreement with the HOA, this maintenance agreement, we don't have in place a mechanical agreement, right? So when their cart breaks down and they come and ask me to take care of it, or fix it, or order tires for it, it's like, hey, I don't have time for this. I don't, what are we getting from this? What are we getting? And then we have to order to our vendors and they want to cut us a check. It never works out. And so I want to make sure that there's something in place from when we take over that contract. If we're going to fix something, there has to be like an hourly rate.
Yes.
And the hard part is too, it's now, if that breaks down, that almost has to take precedent in what we're doing because it's the only thing they got.
Wait,
So it has to kind of move up in line if we're busy.
so we're taking over the cart?
Can you
Well, no, we
give
don't
an
have any-
example?
we
Can you
don't-
give an example, John? I'm not.
So Alex's maintenance card, if
I'm
it
sorry?
breaks down on him, Alex's maintenance card, like if he does the pools and
Right.
stuff, if it breaks down, or he needs a new tire, or a flat changed, or something like that, where does that fall under? It's not under the maintenance agreement, and it's, like mechanical, or, hey, I need new brakes done on my car. All right, if
Have
you
we
want
been doing it in the past?
limited to the scope, but we had an issue where we had to order tires right for it, and then it got lost in translation of who paid what, and we ended up eating it, just because it went on for 6 to 8 months. And we said, all right, moving forward, we're not gonna touch this stuff.
No, it has
I
to
don't
be,
see how our agreement changes, the new agreement changes that at all.
And I'm not saying it changed, I just wanna have
want
an
it
agreement in place, is like,
Okay.
if that's our position, we're gonna work on this for the HOA, if they need us to, work on that card or service it or something like that, how are we gonna charge them, how is it gonna get billed?
okay. It would have to be an hourly charge, and if it's Franco doing it, it's his hourly charge. If it's,
I didn't even know we were doing this.
I think you should stop doing it.
It's not, and look, it's not a major problem, it's not like there's stuff coming all the time, like, I love Alex, this has nothing to do with Alex, but I'm just saying, if we're gonna, because of that tire issue, I felt like we were taking advantage of it a little bit. I felt like it was known that we didn't buy those tires, and they weren't ours because they don't fit on anything we have. Okay, fine. But we gotta use our vendors, we gotta use, like, I gotta do work on this baseball field. I gotta order clay now. So, am I gonna order clay and pay for it out of the golf course budget and wait for a check to come from a line that may take forever? Oh, and if it wasn't an approved vendor, then that vendor has to get approved on their vendor list. It takes forever. It's like, hey guys, you get your vendors, give them to me, I'll call them and order it, and I'll take care of it. I'll do all the work, we'll do all, but this back and forth, like, that ball field, the clay and the infield of that ball field should have been done 4 or 5 months ago. And we had it, we had the things in place, we got the new bases, we got everything, but I just can't, I'm not gonna order the clay, it's gonna cost probably $2,000 to $3,000 for a load of it, because it comes out of North Florida.
okay.
And sit and wait for that check,
Okay, I would say, John, from this point forward, if anything is needed for the ball field, the HOA needs to order it, they need to tell you when it's coming, then you can do your work. And
Look,
again,
I don't mind even ordering it, I don't mind
But you need to
recommending a
order-
vendor, like, hey, I know this vendor has that, right? But I just
it
don't
has
wanna
to
get
be-
in the position of
Right.
us
They need to
doing
pay
it.
for it under
We pay
theirs.
for it first and then get recompensated by it. I think
No.
it needs to be handled one way or another, where there's an agreement on
Okay.
how it's to go there.
Do you have,
Okay,
do you have a methodology to track the hours that guys are working, now that you have this new system, right? Is there a way to track the hours that are being worked on specific tasks?
Yeah, so in each task you put on the board, you can assign an amount of hours, like whatever the task may be. Matter of fact, it makes you
Yeah.
put a time in, whether it's a true time or not. It's a requirement when you add a new task, right?
I think that's a good technology that we have, and we can learn from that going forward. As it pertains to golf carts, can I bring my golf cart up there and you guys work on it too? I don't think that we are a maintenance facility like a golf cart shop, that's not our area of expertise, and if Franco's doing that, he's not doing proactive maintenance on other stuff.
Right, and it hasn't happened with Franco yet, but with this new agreement happening, I thought about that the other day because there were some issues, Alex had needed something, it was something minor, but his cart wasn't running. When we had like 3 blowers down, Franco was in the middle of something, Zephyr was in something, and I get Alex's position, he can't work, he can't do anything if his cart's right. He's one guy, he's the only person they got.
Right.
So it's like, all right, do I gotta stop what I'm doing right now just so I can work on this cart and get, it's like, sometimes the timing is very bad with it. And, okay, well, if that's the case, we may need to make sure we're getting compensated to do this. Because right now, it's just like, all right, buddy, bring it in, let's just check it out, let's stop what we're doing to get you going again, hopefully get you going again.
There's companies out there that provide this service, right? They charge $50 a month, and
I'm
they
sure,
charge
yeah, I'm sure, yeah.
$250 to bring you a new cart as a replacement for a week or whatever. It's not your problem, John.
I just
You're a
wanted
nice
to know,
guy.
should we have something in place, you know what I mean? Just say, if you need to work on a cart, it's $100 an hour, or whatever it may be. I mean, just throwing that out there, you know what I mean?
Right.
Just having a set rate for when we're working on that equipment, this is what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
And that there's real rules in place, like, okay, we're gonna use, you have to call, or we'll call, but there has to be an avenue for us to be able to order stuff on your behalf, not on our credit or on our dime.
Let's say it takes 7 days to get a cart. What's Alex doing for those 7 days? What cart's he using?
Sometimes he's using one of ours,
So it's not our problem, man.
you know?
I don't know what the rest of the board.
I agree, I agree. I think it's a reflection on Alex's work, but we need the
And
cards.
that's gonna run into, what's gonna happen with that, now that we have those 3 extra people, is we don't have
Enough
the
cards for
cards.
everybody. And
I run
that's-
into that because sometimes I have vendors come in that does our soil inspections. When they get here, hey, can I get a couple of carts? Yeah, well, usually that was never a problem, but now that we got all these extra people, now we gotta have them double up, or I gotta take my cart for a few hours, you know?
Right. And we can't have that.
I just, you know, I just wanna keep things separated and clear.
Certainly doesn't sound like it's
And it's not a major
constant
issue, but when it happens,
does
it
come up,
happens.
you just need to have something in place.
Exactly, exactly.
I think we take Alex off the board, he's working for community.
Yeah.
We're all representatives of the community. We have to figure something that's beneficial to both.
Right, but, and I agree with John, when
Why
they-
can't we just, what John's suggesting, is just put, if you have to come down, this is the hourly rate.
Right. That's a
Right.
procedure.
It's simple.
That's
Right.
just a procedure.
We're
And that's-
adding all this other stuff on, we should just do it.
Right, and that, yes, so we'll charge the HOA an hourly rate, but as far as ordering their supplies, it needs to go through their vendors, because we shouldn't be chasing these vendors to get paid, or chasing,
And John should talk to
The-
Nicole when he's time to order the stuff. Give Nicole the information, order it, pay for it, and let you know when it's coming in.
Right.
That's simple.
right.
It's a procedure.
Yeah.
Procedure.
So anything that they
So
need,
just come up with a procedure that works for you.
Yeah.
Put some rates down on a piece of paper that, hey, man, if it takes my guy this to do this, then we're gonna charge you that.
right,
And you can bring it here, or I can give it to Dennis or John, and the board, they can look at it, and if they don't wanna do it,
Yeah.
then they can figure out what they wanna do if
Right.
their golf cart breaks down. I don't think we're being unreasonable, I don't think we're saying we're not gonna do it, it's just, yeah, if it's taking our people off some other work, I think it's only fair.
right.
And if there's a problem with this vendor situation, then like you said, then give us a list of vendors that we can use,
Right.
so that we get,
Well, and it's not just like, so even if I could have a list of their vendors, they still have a policy on, Alliant does, on how much money they can spend without getting approval. So I gotta look at the cost, well, hey, you gotta get approval for this, and then I gotta get approval back, and then I can go ahead and order it.
John,
You
if
see what I
they
mean?
need to order anything,
It's like
they need to
$800, I
order.
wanna say $800 is like the
But
number.
All right,
Order it.
let them order it.
Right. That's
So
what
you're
I'm trying to do.
So you're no longer ordering anything for them. They need to order it themselves, let you know when it's coming. And as far as doing work, I mean, when you were trimming the bushes out here for them, you charge them for the bushes. If you're fixing the golf cart, you need to charge them for that. I mean, if Franco's working on their golf cart, you know, I mean, it puts our stuff behind. So just determine what you think is a reasonable hourly rate. I mean, look at the men that would be working on it. You know, what is Franco getting paid? What is the assistant getting paid? Who's doing that? And work an hourly rate then, because we're paying them that hourly rate. And I don't know the totals, let's say it's $20 an hour, and we're only charging the HOA $10 an hour, that's still putting us behind. I mean, I know it's more than that.
Right, and don't
But-
think that, you know, other than the tire thing that happened way back when, there's any incident that happened, this is just something I thought of moving forward, like,
Right.
hey, I'd like to have something in place.
Right.
You know, I don't wanna
So-
get caught, because I wanna get this baseball field done. I'd love to get that done.
Well, have them
you
order
know,
the
for
clay.
For the staff,
Right.
or for the kids. All right, that's, So we'll go ahead and, we're gonna go last. We're gonna last, together. How about that? Let's do it last, okay. So the bulkhead on 18T, remember how we had to fix that during the bridge installation? Well, now it's back, and now there's another spot that's even worse. I think Todd has the picture. It was brought to my attention. So, yeah, it's on 18T. If you get a chance, you can look at it, go out and look at it. It's down by the end of the T where the transition, or kind of where it ends. So because I'm not going to be working on night and today, I think we'll go out there today and try to do what we can. Maybe try to pull it back and deadhead it, but the good thing, the only thing in our favor is it's not raining anymore. And that's what it happened. There's just so much rain and it's old. But I hate to say it. I mean, what was it, 750,000 we got, that quote?
Yep.
So let's just use that as a ballpark, right? That was to use the composite. I don't know. Do we just try to patchwork this? I mean, I have no problem doing it, and try to get to 2026, 27.
Your honest opinion, will it last that long? Honest opinion?
Not if we have another summer like we did last year, no. Absolutely not. It won't make it. It won't make it to the next, it won't make it. But if it's just a normal summer and typical weather pattern, yeah, we could probably get there. We'd keep doing Band-Aiding it like we're doing. But, that wall's right there on 18T. Everybody sees it coming in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's gonna look. Because now I'm thinking I'm gonna have to, if we can get it brought back, I'm gonna have to put some boards, some 2x6s on the outside, like almost going, kind of like taking a rope and wrapping it around it to try to hold it back. Just to keep it stable until we...
John, is 10 as bad as 18?
No, 10 has like one particular area that washes out,
Bless you.
but it doesn't have the bulging
Yeah.
that 18 does. 18 is like, it's washing out and it's pushing, and believe, like I said, 18 is 100 foot longer than 10. It's the bigger one. So.
Is that what caused the irrigation break?
No, that was a operator error on a rough mower. That's different. So we took that's fixed. Pretty easy.
Yeah, 18 concerns me. Because if that goes bad and it washes out the cart path, I mean, are you left with...
Okay, so that won't happen. It's far enough off the cart path. It's probably 15 feet. It's actually where it gets wider. But, I mean, there's just environmental concerns too. I don't know.
Do we need to have Johnson look at it?
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt.
I'll have Mark look at it when we go look at that other spot.
Okay.
But I still think I should try to at least do something to repair it or stabilize it in some form.
So we stabilized it in late June, early July.
In one section.
Yeah.
And now there's a new section that's even bigger.
Yeah.
And then also the section we stabilized is starting to fail as well again.
But what I'm coming from is, do we really know what's causing it? Is it just age?
It's age.
Water getting up underneath, and so it's pushing an area. You stop that area, so that water's going somewhere else, and now it's pushing another area.
From the last failure, from what we saw, that wood, the pilings are fine. It's the wood in between that's rotting out, and then that lets dirt get by as you get these heavy rains and you get the high waters that just sit there like we had, and it, just takes it with it, right? It pulls it out. But the pilings are fine. I mean, you can pull them back and almost reuse them if you wanted to, but it's everything in between and then the top cap, That's what it is. The was not as heavy as treated, and it's original. It's, what do you bet? They're 2098. I don't know when those were installed, but let's call it 98 for
97,
26 years.
something like that.
We're at 20 plus years, right? So
I'd say, Phil, have Mark look at them when he's with you.
I'll take a bunch of pictures today as I'm doing it and just try to. I'm just worried too, like if I go try to pull it, I can pull everything back. If something breaks or,
It's gonna go.
then it's not just gonna fall into the, but now there's no protection and Lord forbid a heavy rain comes, then you're gonna get some washing, you know? So, and if you guys get a chance to look at it today, please, it's, you know, it's right there at the end, like towards the end of the, probably the yellow tea, green tea, you know, down at that end, it's almost at the very end where it meets, where it stops.
Any other good news?
Oh, no, I've got more coming, more bad news coming. So, Knighton, I'm sure everybody now that has next door has heard about this leak on Knighton. So we've been avoiding to do this leak on Knighton for several reasons. I pretty much knew it was a mainline leak, just because there's no other irrigation there. We had a hurricane coming, I wasn't gonna open it and expose it and then leave this. And I knew that we had a mainline leak about 100 feet north of that a couple years ago, and when we were working on it, we didn't, once we got to it, we didn't have the depth on our equipment to get down and keep it, so I had to call Mike at Aquamatics to come in and fix it. I'm gonna have to do the same today. So I understand that it was, you know, leaking through the path and it was causing some algae, and we'd go out there time to time, throw sand on it, scoop it up, try to, you know, keep it as best we could. But there was a tripping hazard, you know, slipping hazard because of it. So we went out there yesterday and saw cut the asphalt, brand new walk path, sorry. Took it up and there's a hole right in the middle of it. And you can stick your arm all the way down it.
This is irrigation water, right?
This is irrigation water. One of the things I had before we did that is I had Swift One come out and test it for potability. There's no chlorine in the water, so. Plus, we had a couple leaks that every time we turned the pumps off, it stopped. It's pretty obvious that that's what it was a main line. I called Mike at Aquamatics yesterday, said, hey, I'm gonna start exposing this just to see, maybe there's a 5% chance it's not, it's something I can take care of, but could you be ready for me to, you know, come in and take care of this? He's like, yeah, let me call Locates, get them going. He's like, tell me what you find out. So Locates are coming out today to locate everything. There is some telephone wire out there, and obviously there's gonna be some potable water as well too. And maybe some other telecom or something else, Comcast. So that's where we're at. Here's the thing, I'm worried about this. That I didn't want to do it is because it's right at that intersection. We have to now divert people out into the road, into the intersection to get back on it. Liability, it's going to be like this for a week.
Yeah,
Or
just
you
put
know,
up
until we
the
get,
cones and flags.
it is, it's combed off, caution taped off, it's roped off. We're just waiting for the Locates to come out and we'll get it fixed as soon as possible. But that's where we're at on that.
How much of the road or
I don't know
have
yet.
to be dug up?
Chris, I can't tell.
But it will have to be, correct?
Maybe not. I mean, what I'm thinking is it's either one of two things. There's either a T down there, according to the as-built, that goes over, that intersects to send the main line over to 11T and create that little loop over back through 12, or it's just a bell end to the pipe. Because in the as-built, there's no other thing it could be, according to the as-built. So it's probably could be a bell end piece of pipe, the gasket's just compromised and failed over the time.
And who's, what fund does this come out of then?
This is, I would assume irrigation fund, is it not? Mainline on the common area?
Sounds good to me.
I don't know.
It's a main line, irrigation fund.
Chuck,
What,
that's a question to you.
what was it?
So, who's funding the bill?
That would be, I'm assuming, a split bill because of the looped system. So,
What do you mean, just because it's mainline, or?
yeah, because it's main line, and we know that the main line is interlooped and serves both residential and golf course.
So if I have a main line on the golf course, can I split that with the?
If it's part of the overall system running through the golf course,
Which is where this is located,
because it's all looped.
You're
100 feet from the golf course. Maybe not 100 feet. Because it looks like it's just
I
lined.
don't think, hold on, I think we need to look at this again. I don't think, because if that was the case, I should have been charging the irrigation fund a lot more money over the years for mainline repairs on the golf course.
You missed the opportunity. You didn't ask the question.
That would have been brought up, over 13 years, that would have been brought up.
you had brought up that you had issues, you'd never asked the question of, but, you know, the main looping system, we know it does have, it's all interconnected.
Right.
It goes through the golf course to serve another neighborhood on the other side of the golf course. I mean, it's just,
Sure.
it's a bowl of spaghetti
big-
out here.
yeah.
Absolute bowl of spaghetti done on the cheap, so. Not Lennar.
Chuck, is there a
Okay,
way
so-
for us to determine if there is any other leaks, like main leaks?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Because like everything's underground, it's not exposed, you know?
And generally, you don't know until it surfaces,
Right.
or you're starting to get a depression, so.
Okay, so now, yeah, well, the common grounds doesn't pay for water either.
No, Common Grounds doesn't, it just becomes a byproduct of the residential service, so they'll pay one way or the other. There's no sense to charge the district for its own water there, but the golf course is separate and distinct. And what I think we would probably look at is the percentage of usage and use those percentages, because we do bill monthly, by reading the totalizer, deducting that is actually read off the residential meters, and then we apply, it's either a 10 or 15% line loss factor, and then the remainder of that becomes billable to the golf course. So whatever that percentage is, would be the golf course share, and the rest would be the residential side.
What about the other associations? Because this pipe's at night.
We already charge them for their usage. So
Right.
They're part of the residential side. Yep.
Man, but we get charged for our usage too. We get a monthly bill.
Yeah, you're gonna get.
Right, well, hold on, no, to your point. If we charge them every month, why shouldn't they fit part of this cost as well too?
They will. It will come out of the
Line
irrigation
loss,
fund.
15% line loss.
Come out of the irrigation fund, and
The rates, fees, and charges.
How long do these systems normally last?
Can I hear?
it depends. I mean, this is all PVC, right? C900. So, I mean, theoretically, other than your mechanical joints, which are gonna be ductile iron, those will give way.